Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince will give his first speech since the killing of the journalist Jamal Khashoggi this afternoon.
Meanwhile, the US says it's revoking the visas of 21 Saudis that they've identified as being involved in the killing. Well, here in the studio, we're joined by Alex MacDonald, a journalist at Middle East Eye. And Alex, do we think the Crown Prince will address it this afternoon? He's at this Davos in the Desert summit, isn't he? Or will he just stick to the speech that would have been presumably written a while ago?
Well, I think it's very unlikely he will address it, to be honest, mainly because there's not much he can really say at this stage. Obviously, he's had that photo shoot with Jamal Khashoggi's son, which is an attempt to try and indicate that he has kind of a degree of sadness and he's upset about what's happened, but he's still trying to kind of isolate himself from actually taking responsibility for Jamal Khashoggi's death. So I don't really see what he could say at this stage, apart from possibly some words just of condolences that would in any way help the situation.
It's an extraordinary picture, isn't it? You wonder how the negotiations that went on behind the scenes to get that kind of image. And it's certainly, Khashoggi's son certainly didn't look particularly pleased to be there, did he?
No. I mean, there's quite a few... It actually follows quite a tradition, in a way, in the Middle East of various people having relatives killed and then being forced to take photo shoots with people who probably killed them. It's quite a sort of twisted tradition. But, yeah, it was a macabre spectacle.
Now, the comments that we had yesterday from President Erdogan, the leader of Turkey, about the Crown Prince, well, he didn't mention the Crown Prince, but about the King and how he has faith in the King. Will this weaken Mohammed bin Salman's hand at all? I mean, is division between him and the King greater now than it was before?
Well, I mean, I think what can't be overemphasised enough is that Mohammed bin Salman has spent the last few years consolidating his power in Saudi Arabia. He's done everything he can to marginalise rivals, marginalise threats. He has so much power now in Saudi Arabia. King Salman still favours him. There have been rumours about the possibility of Mohammed bin Salman being shunted aside in favour of another son. I don't know that that's necessarily feasible. I think King Salman's still supportive of him. What Erdogan was definitely doing, though, is trying to apply some pressure to MBS and also to indicate that he doesn't want to sever ties with Saudi Arabia over this. What he really probably wants, the ultimate goal would be to have Mohammed bin Salman's, basically get Mohammed bin Salman's head over this, his scalp, get him shunted out of the way. But I mean, how realistic that is another question.
Well, exactly, because Turkey, doesn't have that much influence over Saudi Arabia and its policies, does it?
No, I mean, not really. But then, it's been very clever what Erdogan's been doing over the last few weeks or so. This kind of drip of media leaks and always keeping some things back. He's trying to apply pressure not just on Saudi Arabia itself, but also on Saudi Arabia's traditional allies to see their kind of, to put MBS into kind of a small, weaker position. What I think almost certainly will be the outcome of this is that he will lose some of the roles he was given over the last, few years or so, and maybe we'll see his powers curbed a bit. I'm not quite sure, so that this could lead to him actually losing his current kind of dominant power. But who knows? I could be wrong about that.
And in terms of the West's reaction, sanctions, we've already seen America talking about sanctions. But it's not going to change anything in terms of arms being traded with Saudi, is it? Well,
I mean, it already has had an impact on Germany, who have spoken about suspending arms sales while this goes on. But, I mean, if we're talking about this on a very kind of moral level, it's very hard to try and see, since 2011, Saudi Arabia crushing the democratic uprising in Bahrain, since the beginning of the war in Yemen, which has caused, thousands of deaths, the worst humanitarian crisis in the world, abducting the Prime Minister of Lebanon. I mean, it'd be very hard to see why this would be a kind of moral straw that breaks the camel's back. But what it has done is it's really embarrassed a lot of his traditional allies. So there'll be words made, there'll be comments made, but a kind of fundamental break with Saudi Arabia is not happening.
Alex MacDonald from Middle East Eye, good to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you.